This movie is a tribute to my dog Remy Martin. Him and I have traveled a bumpy road to get where we are today. His constant companionship and support makes his story deserving of being immortalized. In so many ways, Remy is more than just a dog. He has inspired a clothing line, his own certification, and most importantly, he is inspiration for what we all call the Remy Line way. He's the patriarch of our movement. One dog, one line.
I couldn't find Remy Line. I Googled Remy. I couldn't find this dog for nothing, man. I found it by accident.
This is not just our hobby. We love our dogs, but at the same time, this is also our business. This is how some of us feed our families.
Remyline lifestyle is not for everyone. We've been having people coming in, go.
If you ever want to make anyone angry, change something. That's what Remy did. He literally changed my life. He really changed it for a lot of these countless people you see that came with us today.
We have our own swag, man. Remy Line, we got our own swag. It's just that we stay with the consistency of that one dog. That's just what we do.
So when you see one dog, one line, you don't just see a bloodline, but you see a trail. Remy Line leaves a trail that blazes you in a whole new other frontier.
So, when I picked up Remy at 6 weeks old, this is the house that I brought him to when he was sick. I actually thought the dog was gonna die. So, this brown house right here to my right is where Remy first came at 6 weeks old and became part of my family's life and started a whole movement. I had no idea that was gonna be what it's gonna be, but I just thought it's important that you guys see some heritage of Remy Line. So we're gonna do a quick glance at this house and you guys can see where Remy first came. But actually this side gate right there is where Remy and Maximus at the time lived. You know? So I think if But before Remy, man, I've always been into dogs, but I actually would spend no more than $300. If I spent $300 in a pit, that was too much. I was on the internet one night and I came across Gotti Line, which is Ed Shepherd's yard, and saw a dog named Blackjack. Now, I went to his yard, and when I saw Blackjack, I was like, wow, that was the most amazing dog I've ever seen in my life. And I was the first person to buy a dog from Ed Shepherd because he just purchased Blackjack. So I had the first Blackjack puppy. And I was like, man, I'm gonna name this dog Buddha. And Buddha's about to be the dog, man. I got a Blackjack son, and I'm just gonna take over the world with that damn dog. So as Buddha is growing, I became an internet addict to the game, meaning that I'll get on somebody's kennel, and then from their kennel, I'll check their links page. Then from those links page, I'll check other link page. So I'll be putting in like about maybe 3, 4, I'll say 5 hours a day just looking at dogs. And I start realizing as I'm looking at dogs that, man, Buddha's a nice dog, but he's not looking like these other dogs. And that's when I became a breeder. What happens in this game is people go and spend money on a dog, and they know in their heart their dog isn't the one, but they're gonna go and try to make that money back and prove to themselves that, this dog is the one. I learned that at a young age. So at 9, 10 months, when I saw Buddha, and this is a dog that I loved and thought it was gonna be the one, that's when I separated pets from my breeding dogs. And then I started talking to a cat named Dan Williams, and he used to tell me about Razor's Edge type of dogs. And I didn't really care for Razor's Edge type of dogs because they seem kind of small. I live in California, so we're the home of the Cadillacs. We like some size. But I did like their structure. So, make a long story short again, I saw the dog Short Shot. Next thing I got on the Short Shot bandwagon, I bought a dog named Maximus, and I named him Maximus, aka Shorty, Short Shot Jr. Had the typical head and everything. And that was gonna take me to the top. And then I bought another dog named Zoe. and I just started buying a couple dogs because now I just became a guy that's every time I see a nice dog, I'm gonna buy it. Never really had a mentor in it. And then my last actual purchase was Remy. And Remy came into my life, and things just started changing from there. And now here I am, 2003 to 2010, 7 years later, and Remy is still my dog that I love, but that dog has built a whole empire called Remy Line, and it's also built a lifestyle called the Remy Line way.
I saw this post on the EE board, and Fabe issued a challenge because, I mean, so many people with so much hype about Remy and everything, and people were kind of discrediting him. So all of a sudden, Fabe just breaks out with this challenge, you know what I mean? Talking about, I got $1,000, I'm bringing Remy to the East Coast. At this time, you gotta keep in mind, we had the baddest two-time short shot son, hands down on the planet at that time. And that was Ali, 24.5-inch head at a year old, you know what I'm saying? Body was right and everything. So we was like, yo, we going down there gonna collect this easy $1,000. I called Fabe, I tell him bring Remy out. He brings Remy out. I said, well, bring Remy. Because when I saw Remy, I was like, yeah, he's nice, he's incredible. But what tipped the scale was when I had him bring him, because now it was time to meet Ali. At that time in my mindset, it was all about head. You know what I mean? All about the biggest head. But that's when I learned biggest head is good, but at the end of the day, it's about the all-around dog and what that all-around dog brings. And he brought him out, and them two dogs stood next to each other. Now, granted, Ali was holding his own, but then Remy just looked and did this one bark. And when he did this bark, it changed me forever. And from that moment on, I was trying to find my way in the Remy line.
Remy's story himself, forget the dog, to me is one of the most interesting story because before I got Remy, which I purchased for $500 from a treadmill, from George from Rockwood Kennels, is there had 3 or 4 guys that held him in his hands and they passed on him. So it wasn't a case he was born, and when he was born I was the first person that had access to own him. He was actually born, then sold to another individual. That other individual had 3 or 4 clients, which I personally know now, that has bought dogs off of Remy, which is so funny. That actually held the puppy and says, no, I don't want to get him. And then from there, he came to me. My kennel name was Big Fabe Pitts when I first got in this game. I was like, man, Big Fabe Pitts, because they call me Big Fabe. Why, I don't know, but that's what a lot of people call me, Big Fabe. So I was Big Fabe Pitts. I can't walk all these dogs. I'm gonna buy a treadmill. So I want to spend like $2,200 from a treadmill place. And they shipped me the treadmill, but what I didn't realize is if you don't train a puppy from the beginning on a treadmill, it's hard to put a grown dog on a treadmill to run. So I got this freaking $2,500 beautiful treadmill that all of a sudden started collecting dust in my garage. In fact, it became a storage place. So I put it up on my site for sale, and this guy named George from Rockwood Kennels called me and said, hey, how about you give me that treadmill and I'll give you a dog. He's litter mate to that dog Blaze off of Blue and Sage. He said, go to Ruckus Kennels and check out Blue and Sage and you'll see Blaze. So I went and looked, I was like, that looks good. And so he says, okay, give me $500 and a treadmill and a stud back to the puppy, and you could have, and we'll make the deal. So this was like in December time, and it was like really, really cold. And I had a Denali parked. So I packed the treadmill, but the Denali lid had to stay open. So me and my 2 friends rode up I-5 or the Grapevine heading up to George, which is about 3 hours away. Kind of cold, even though the heater was on, the back hood, the back trunk of the Denali was up. So when we pulled up to George's house, I see this little fat puppy, and then I see this puppy like look like it's gonna die, like it has parvo. Well, the fat puppy was Medusa. Medusa was Remy's sister, and I kept telling George, man, that dog has parvo. I want to take this puppy. That dog's gonna die, which is Remy I'm talking about. He's like, no, Fabe, but the guy just didn't feed him. Trust me, he'll turn out. I says, okay, well look, I'll still give you the $500 and the treadmill, but there'll be no stud fee for me to take this home. Because my boys are like, we're not putting that treadmill back in that car and freezing our ass to go back home. So at that time I called him Judo, because I was taking my martial arts judo class. Sean from True Tank showed him the picture, and he says, man, that dog looks like his grandmother, Remy. And he says, you should name him Remy. So that's when I said, okay, cool, I'm gonna name him Remy Martin. So for like a week or two, I was just feeding the dogs and feeding the puppy and so forth. And then one day I came home and I went back there and I'm like looking for Remy, because all of a sudden this little fat puppy just came running up, and I'm just like, oh wow, my wife got rid of the dog and got me a new puppy. So I ran in the house and I'm like, Doris, where'd you get this new puppy from? She's like, I didn't get you no new puppy. And I said, did you see the little fawn fat puppy back there? She went back there and she's like, well, where's Remy at? And Remy is right there. I mean, literally, this dog went from skin and bones to this little thick little dog. And from that day forward, that dog has never, ever, ever have a lanky stage, ugly stage. It was just always right.
People ask me like, why do I put King Gotti on Remy? First his name is King Gotti. King Gotti, he's 60-40. He's 60 Gotti and 40% Remy, Razor's Edge. He's Remy certified. We went to the show up north. Remy was there, Remyline was there, Fabian was there. Ever since Fabian saw King Gotti, I think, right? I don't know if he's BSing me, but he loves King Gotti. He loves him a lot. He likes him a lot. He's very proud that King Gotti has that Remy blood in him. So right away, he certified him. I got my certificate on mail. So every time there's a Remy show, or the Remyline, it's at the shows, I try to put him in. I'm very fortunate to put him on Remy. I'm very fortunate to put him on Razor's Edge, and I'm very fortunate to put him on Gotti. So he has the best bloods out there. So he could go in different competitions. He could go in Gotti competition. He could go in Remy. He could go to Razor's Edge. And so far, I have put him in 2 competitions. On Kingsburg, he took 2nd place, and on the 4th of July, he took 1st place. Those are the only ones that he has. Those are it, because unfortunately I have not gone to shows, but I'm gonna start going out to more shows more often to see maybe I could champion him out on the Remy line.
I met Byron, who is the producer of Remy, when Remy was 12 or 11 months old. The misconception that the game has is that Ruckus Kennels produced Remy. Ruckus Kennels didn't produce Remy. Ruckus Kennels bought Remy and the whole litter as her puppies, and Ruckus Kennels sold that litter. The one thing that Ruckus Kennels did, which was good, is that they made Remy's parents and they made that blood famous, because they had a good program, they put it out there. But the actual person that produced Remy is Byron Johnson. I'm real excited though, because a lot of my partners, guys that really support this bloodline, that's on this road trip with us, he's one of the figures that's going to be at the show, and it's their first time meeting him. To meet him is like an honor, because take the dogs out of play. This is the one that birthed the dog of the lifestyle that they follow and live their life by. So I'm excited for them. I'm excited for him.
I owe you a lot of pleasure. Pleasure's all mine, whatever it is, man. This is Rembrandt. He's double Remy. Yeah.
I just recently had the opportunity now to have met Byron. Byron was the individual who actually produced Remy. When you grow up in this game and you're learning in this game, you think because I've heard about the Ruckus Kennels, I always thought that Blue and Sage was owned by them. Then to come to find out that you actually find out the untold story, and the untold story with no discredit to what Tilo did, but the untold story of the actual producer. It's almost like finding out you've been involved in something like an adoptive parent. You think these are your parents all along, just to one day find out that, that's not your real biological parents. Your real parents were someone else.
My name is Byron Johnson. I've always been a Pitbull guy since I was a little kid. And on the internet, and ran across these dogs, and these particular dogs just stood out from all the other websites that I went to. It was Razor's Edge Kennels. So I contacted Dave Wilson from Razor's Edge Kennels, and I told him I was interested in dogs. I was like one of the first cats in the area with Razor's Edge dogs, so I was basically just breeding and selling dogs. I wasn't trying to keep any dogs on my yard. I was selling them to friends. I was just trying to get the dogs out there. The first dog that I got was Blue. Raised him up, and a little while after that I got Sage. and I bred them, and they created Remy and a couple other offsprings that's out there now, Blaze, and just a lot of other dogs out there. I came to a point in my life where I had some obstacles in the way, so I basically sold my whole yard to Tilo at Ruckus Kennels, and he claimed he had it out there that he was the one that bred Blue and Sage and that he bred Remy, things of that nature, but those dogs came off my yard. I sold Remy to Tilo at Ruckus Kennels. Tilo sold Remy to George, and then somehow George and Fabe got hooked up, and for $5 in a treadmill or something like that, he sold Remy to Fabe. And once Fabe got him, and couple of months in, the dog started really changing, and he turned out to be one of the top dogs in the country. And for the record, I'm not mad at all that I sold Remy. Remy's in good hands. He landed in the hands of the right person. You know, Fabe knew exactly how to promote the dog, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? My relationship with Fabe is what it is, and you know, if I ever want to get back in the dog game, it's enough people out there to set me straight with whatever I want.
Yeah, Lil Demons.
My name is Mike, owner of Lil Demons Kennels. Well, Remyline was introduced to me about 2 years ago. I got involved with Remyline through a kennel partner by the name of Frank, and we started Little Demons. The Remy blood brings everything that we look in a pit bull. The girth, you know, the rear, the shoulders, the head. That's what we want to produce and take to our customers. The Remyline way, to me, in my eyes, it's breeding for that look, for the look of Remy, the girth, the muscle. You know, that to me is the Remyline way. It's to get every detail of Remy and just reproduce it. That to me is the Remyline way. The Remyline lifestyle means a lot to me. I inherited it. It's almost like I breathe it, live it, you know, and you know, I rep it. In my eyes, I probably rep it one of the most in Remyline. You know, I surround my kids around Remyline, my family, my wife. I try to make it a whole family thing. My favorite Remyline moment was had to be the first time I went to a Remyline dog show in Pixley, when I met the whole family, just that whole energy around the whole fam. You know, I just liked and wanted to be around it. In my eyes, a Remyline show is more cooperative. It's everything I look for in a show when I would want in the show. Rico is my foundation male, my stud. Everything that I bring to the yard, I pretty much want to run it through him. To me, Rico is just a special dog. He got everything short back, you know, big head, you know, thick bone. You know, I could work with them as far as you know, improving on the rear and stuff like that. So that's where I sit at, you know, and bringing more Remy blood, you know, and just adding Rico to it to produce the final product.
Everybody always asks me, like, did you know that Remy was gonna be what he is? So, as a puppy, you unless you know what the barometer is, you have nothing to gauge. So to me, he was just a nice dog. The only thing I knew that was special about him was that I had 2 other dogs in the yard, but every time people came to the yard, they would always be like, man, that dog right there is nice, you know, like, damn, all the time, you know. I heard damn so much in my life through that dog. It's ridiculous, because remember, I'm a newbie in the game, so I'm more of a fan of the game than trying to be in the game, because I'm still learning the game. So when I had him, I was just pretty much doing what I figured you got to do to get a dog out there, not knowing that you know, I have one of the nicest dogs. I'm assuming everybody else's dogs are like this. Because remember, I bought a dog for $500 in a treadmill. I'm meeting people that coming to me saying, I bought a dog for $4,000, $5,000, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And then back then, who was Blue and who was Sage? Nobody. So they weren't like heavy hitter named dogs. So you don't know what you got. I didn't know what I had. So until my phone started ringing to stud to him. And when I say ringing, I'm not talking ringing once. I'm talking my phone is ringing. So a lot of people always ask me a question like, man, how'd you get Remy out there? You know, how'd you get him so popular? You know, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? And a lot of people say, well, Fabe, you know, you're humble to where you say it was really Remy, but you know, you had to do things. And it's one of those things where I just pretty much put Remy in right situations. And Remy did the work. I do believe it's on a higher level, whether it's godly, whether it's spiritually, whether it's whatever. I do believe it's a higher level because when you have men, women, and children flying in from across the world to come and see a dog in my backyard, that's bigger than just, that's a nice dog. So Remy is just pretty much, for me, doing whatever he was supposed to do on this earth, and I think I'm lucky to be able to be part of that, and I'm hoping I'm doing it or guiding it right. The day that I knew Remy was going to be special was, it was a day, it was raining, it was me, Cruz, Pratt was there, just the real old school breeders. We went to a UKC show, we're all standing outside, and Nemesis was there, and at that time it was like Remy and Nemesis, and when I had Remy out, you know, he was just on point, and it was one picture of Remy lunging, and when I put that picture up on the board, from that day on, it was like, wow. And up to now, that picture, if anyone knows the history, it's just a phenomenal picture. Now you see why we say American Pitbull Terriers, baby. So all the bully lovers, I got love for you, but that's where it's at. Your ball, when you can throw your ball freaking 100 yards in the neighborhood with cars coming, kids running around, helicopters flying, the whole 9 yards, and that dog gonna go and get that ball, come back and bring it, that's a dog. First RLC champ, E40, that's right.
That's why I ain't hit her with nothing that heavy. Watch this dog, man. Come here. Come on, mama.
What you about to do, man? Talk to me.
I'm finna hide this ball. She gonna find it. Come here. Come here. Sit down. Sit. Stay. 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 Get the ball, Delicious. Get the ball. What I tell you? I told you before.
That's a
I told you.
Man, look,
that's some shit.
Remy Line family at work, y'all. That's the Remy Line family at work, y'all.
This thing said I'm gonna see a Brent.
The Remy Line whisperer.
We stay with the consistency of that one dog. That's just what we do. It's not 2 or 3 dogs. We just base everything on one dog. Just one dog. I mean, you know, so, and that's what I like. It ain't nothing that we just trying to create this and create that and create this. We just trying to take this one dog that everybody love, named Remy, and we just evolving it, you know, but we still keeping that Remy look.
First breeding is, when I bought Remy, I knew I had to buy a dog to make his first breeding phenomenal. A lot of the keys in this game is your first 3 breedings makes you or breaks you, period. So what I end up doing is I end up buying Remy's half sister, and it's a dog named Bella. Bella comes off of Blue, Remy's dad, bred to a Sage's daughter. And now Sage is Remy's mom, so it's actually a really, really tight line breeding. Now, you don't take rocket scientists to understand pedigree. Obviously, I got Remy, which is Blue and Sage, gonna breed to a female, which is off of Blue and Sage's daughter. It's pretty much the same exact breeding, so I knew I was gonna get Remy's all over again. I promoted that breeding from out the gate. When those puppies hit the ground, it was game over, because I showed a litter that all the males look like Remy and all the females except for one look like the mom. That one female that didn't look like the mom looked like Remy. So here is his first breeding and he stamped his look. So I was on cloud 9. My second breeding I did was with another dog I had that I placed at my boy Kenny's house, named Callie. Now Callie was off of Sir Crush-A-Lot. We did that breeding, which has nothing to do with Remy, and bam, produced males looked like Remy, females look like the mom. So at this point, I was like, I got a dog that throws males and only throws small litters of males. If anybody knows animals, a dominant male throws more females than they throw males. The reason why, a dominant male isn't trying to reproduce himself too many times, because now he's gonna have to deal with that dominant male in the wild again. So dominant males throw more females. Well, I had a dog that was averaging throwing 3 males to 4 to 5, 6 females and was on point. Did another breeding to a gaff female and bam, it hit again. At that point, it was over, because now my dog was bred to 3 different types of blood and was throwing himself. So now I knew I had a true stud. The misconception that people have is Remy is overbred. Remy isn't overbred because that's what the world demanded. That's what the world asked for. That's what the people came to me. None of my breedings was ever forced on anybody. All those breedings, a person came and asked to breed to my dog. And I would never change that, because I was able to really learn how to breed to my dog. Most people think they know how to breed to their dogs, and their dog has like maybe 20 puppies, and they're basing that on pedigree. You gotta breed your dog to know what the hell your dog could do. That's what separates Remyline from all these other lines, is that they're basing their history on a past that they weren't even there. We base Remyline on a present and the future. We don't have a past. Our past is Remy.
Anything out of Remy is something that I always pay attention to. I love that dog. I love his production. Fabian and I would go way back, many years back. We met in a barbecue, and it was the first time that I saw Remy, his dog. Insane dog, gorgeous. Absolutely, right on the spot, I became a big fan of Remy. A very well put together dog, a complete dog, which back in the days, when called something bully was kind of hard. There were some nice bully dogs, but no like Remy. At that time, my boy Paco, Samurai Paco, was just a puppy, and Remy was already hitting the scenes, making a lot of noise. I got something out of his very first production. It was Remy and Bella. Expectation was big. Basically, it was based on his beauty. He was a dog apart back in the days. He was a very special, beautiful dog. So, not every dog that looks good, it produces good. So in this case, he was a beautiful dog that produced beautiful. I got Beta, my female Beta, out of that breeding, which was a very compact, beautiful little bitch, which I later put in my program with Paco, and I got insane results, super beautiful results. These proving that the combination of Remy and Paco was an excellent combination. I did follow that with other breedings after that. With Beta, we got super females or super dogs like Drama, like Messenger Ty, like El Patron. Quite a few dogs out of the first breeding that it just makes such an impact in my kennel that, you know, obviously, you know, after that, I start to acquire more dogs related with that, you know, with Remy, so I can breed it to Paco. And until today, you know, those dogs have given me the kids out of Beta and Paco, and, you know, the kids after that still producing beautiful, beautiful animals, you know, and I think that is the base of today for this dog to be so, so claimed as one of the greatest in the bully game.
This one with the Remyline UN. I'm in Willen, California, and I've been with Remyline since 2000, I'll say 2006, 2007. Fabian had that day Jack, and that was the first thing. And I just like the structure on the Remyline dogs. The head, the bone is the total package. It's not just one thing. It's everything on one dog. We're having a show tomorrow. I'm more nervous because I got people flying for all over the United States. It's been a lot of work, man. It's not easy to put up a show, so hopefully we get a lot of people and a nice turnout, and I'm expecting a lot of nice dogs coming to Willen. First time in Willen, California. We're having an RKC show. Remyline lifestyle is not for everyone. It's a lifestyle that you gotta put 100% into it. The benefits don't come like right away. You gotta put work into it. Like I said, I've been with the Remyline since 2006, and finally the benefits are coming into me. Getting a lot of support from Fabian and Chris and the guys, they're been on top, and getting finally some nice looking dogs. I got Tripod that's coming hard. By the end of 2010, 2011. You'll see Tripod everywhere I go.
Being a Remyline member and, you know, just doing this movement thing, man, I tell you what, man, we are one of the most hated groups out there, man. I mean, you say Remyline and, oh, wow, and people turn their noses up, look in the sky, walk away. They deny it. You better look at your pets. Remy's in your pets, almost guaranteed, somewhere, man. If you got a nice dog or bad dog, Remy's in your pet. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. But I hope I want everybody to come together. If not, hey, we Remyline still. It don't stop. The movement don't stop.
The controversy is really a bloodline that doesn't want to allow other bloodlines to become. Case in point, Remyline, based on pedigree, is a razor's edge dog. There's a lot of drama going on about pedigrees and so forth, but we're gonna base everything on the facts that we have. And the facts that we have is Remy is a razor's edge dog, so we'll leave it at that. I took a razor's edge dog and kept a distinct look in the dog and evolved that look to where we now can look at that dog and you see Remy. Razor's Edge fans and Razor's Edge breeders, for whatever reason, can't get over the fact that somebody came, took the blood, and went on to do their own thing. So for every discredit remark, for every hate that was thrown at Remyline, all it did is make followers of the blood stronger and more dedicated. Hands down, the dedication for true Remyline breeders, not the ones that are fly-by-night, the dedication for true Remyline breeders, I would stack up against any other bloodlines. I take that back, except Gotti Line, because Gotti Line has true breeders that are dedicated to that cause. But this is a razor's edge question. I would stack up any true Remyline breeders to any true razor's edge breeders. And if you give me your 10 best, and I give you my 10 best, hands down, my 10 will give you the same story, and your 10 will give you 10 different stories. So if I'm gonna go into battle, I'm gonna go into battle with a crew that's telling one story. Because when I turn my head, I know the other 10 guys are turning their head. I'm not gonna go into battle with a crew that their heads are all turning different directions. If you don't believe me, do a little research on that and ask a true Razor's Edge breeder, what are they breeding for? And then go and ask a true Remy Line breeders, what are they breeding for? Proof's in the pudding. We have a slogan that in Remy Line, it says, if you want to make enemies, change something. And the one thing that we got hated on or get hated on for is the fact that we refuse to allow whatever structure's in place dictate how we want to run our structure. Not saying our structure is the right or the best structure, but it's our structure. I came in the game not jaded or came in the game, you know, with any crews. I just came in the game with a guy that said, man, I love these dogs. I could probably make a little bit of money on it and I'm cool. But as I got in the game, more deeper and deeper in the game and watched it grow, different elements are gonna start to pull you one way. Now, my main issue or my main problem in Remy Line is I went and took a dog literally from a bloodline that is probably one of the biggest bloodlines in the game. And I took that dog and said, you know what, I'm gonna run with this dog and create my own bloodline. So I've been fighting these battles because they can't let go of something that they never had.
I know you've heard about the 500 and a treadmill, how nobody kind of wanted Remy. Well, likewise, that's what kind of happened with me. Many kennels felt I was hot-headed, and to a degree I was. You know, I was real raw, you know what I mean? But Fabe saw the potential in me, and at that time it was many other members that were with him, but you know, they decided to go their own way for whatever reasons. You know, I'm gonna leave that part out of it. But it gave me the opportunity because I believed in something. I could see his vision, and I'm a firm believer, and this is something that I've learned through God, is that everybody's destiny is tied into another individual. So sometimes to unlock your destiny, you have to help fulfill another individual's destiny. So I committed myself, and Fabe said to me, he said, Chris, he said, I'm gonna ask you to do me something, do me a favor, because I was telling him all these ideas about these different dogs. He said, I'm gonna need you to close your eyes, give me your keys, and let me drive. And I promise you, if you let me drive, that in 2 years, you'll be where you wanna be.
All right.
All right, bro.
For me in this game, and I hate to use the word game because like how we go into the show and seeing the show, and I see all the people like at the show, like the cost to get all that, sometimes you don't know if it's worth it, you know? Because like that dog there is the only thing left that's been like just my only stable stuff, and this is like from stuff from family. I mean I put so much into building something through him, because it was like I didn't really have a choice, man, because the demand that dog like put on the world and put on me was like, it was unbelievable. Like, I had people from all over calling me, flying in, and these are people that, you know, I didn't know, and I thought, okay, this is cool, man, and I'm doing this, but the cost that for where Remyline is, and I see so many people that come to it and love it, and all of the hate and fights that I have, that I had to restart like my life again. I mean, I lost my family over these dogs. I lost quality friends over these dogs. I lost a lot of money over these dogs from businesses. And the one thing that was always steady for me, man, was that dog Remy. When everything was down, was like, don't trip, man, I got you. I mean, if you guys could only understand how many times, but you know, the positives in it is like, I have like a new girlfriend who loves me, you know, I have my 2 daughters that are gonna be full-time with me. But it's like, everybody I see that says they want this, and I try to tell them, man, you have no idea what the sacrifice to get to this type of level is. It really worth it? And we're talking about a dog. Let's keep it real, it's a dog. But the dog that I got in that backyard, man, I mean, anyone that knows me, I'm not a religious type of guy, but it's bigger than a dog. And the sad part about it is, the game knows that, and they do every possible thing to just kill that, but yet he still stands. And the fights that I have with these guys, it's like, it gets to the point sometimes where it's like, I do feel sometimes that something is gonna go down, because this isn't something that I could control. This is just something that I channel, but it gets to the point where it's like, I have to be real guarded with everything I do now. And this is funny, we're talking about dogs. I got people come into my life that have hurt me so bad that now with everybody, it's I gotta be so guarded. But it's like, when you see Remy, man, and you really spend some alone time with Remy, it is a whole nother world. And when I see the bullshit in the game and these guys talking all this stuff, it's like, you know what? You guys are just, it's not, that keeping it real is that you're not making money, you're not producing nice dogs, you know, and it kills me that you try to belittle another dog that's just being a dog and doing something great. Literally doing something great, because he changes lives. What other dog can you tell me that people will say has changed my fucking life? I mean, dude, I mean, if you've seen my story, like really seen my story when it came to money and just things, I was there. And to now start back over, but yet still keep pushing and building this Remy line, man, I have my fellas in the car, and it's like, it took years to finally start getting guys, but I went through so many crews, and a lot of those crews, whenever I Google Remyline or Google, the stuff they say, it's like the hate they have, and it's the most testing thing. Imagine you open up a paper and it's just hate about you, and you know you did nothing wrong. So it's for me, it's like I have to be so just man, you know what, just keep pushing, keep pushing. And then for people that believe in it, I gotta be strong. But sometimes, man, I cry a lot alone, because when I do sit down and like coming into this and just thinking about it, I mean, look at everything you lost, you know? So,
what have you lost?
I mean, I've lost my identity. I've lost my family, you know? I've lost money. And now what I'm rebuilding, I'm 37 years old, is like a new beginning. But I didn't need to make a new beginning because I already had everything. I know that sounds weird, but my new beginning, I must say, like I said, is good, but it still hurts to know, to have this new beginning, what you had to sacrifice. Hi. So here we are. It's 12. What time is it? We got 1 o'clock. Road trip still ain't done. We about to go ahead and park it. We got to get up early. We got the big show tomorrow. Like I said, man, if you guys want to get in this game, real dog men do real things. My man Ezra just came all the way off the plane from Vegas. Just dropped in. So you're gonna come, hit this show, meet a couple people, and then bounce. Man, now it's game time, you know. We didn't get in bed till about 4 o'clock because when you're on the road doing some dog work, you know, it's just everything goes. And now it's like 6:30 in the morning. As you can see, everybody's setting up the ring for the show to make it nice. You know, we got the ribbons going. Right now, you're just working on adrenaline. You know, you're working on the passion. You're working on the love. I think we're gonna have a good turnout, man. The one thing that RKC is doing, we're hitting locations where normally you don't have shows. Our goal right here is not really we do want a huge turnout, but a successful show is if anybody comes that never seen something like that, that's the way we're gonna do it. I want to personally thank everybody for coming out. We're getting ready to start the RKC show. Actually, this is the first RKC show in California. We had 3 shows back east. I want to thank Juan for Remyline, you win, for putting this together. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Welcome to the RKC experience. It's a community, so enjoy.